This is CHSR 97.9 FM here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. This is Python's Paradise, your film and music show, and this is your host, Greg Gilbert, a.k.a. the Python Hyena. And folks, we have the lovely and very, very funny, filter-free Liane Curtis of 16 Candles back with us for a third time, and she is joined by her very talented mother. Yes, the famous, the awesome Paulette Gerard, a.k.a. Paulette Rubinstein. How do you two do?
Well, how do you do, Senor Greg, a.k.a. Senor Python, Hyena, and folks? What you doing up there in Fredericton, New Brunswick? I can say it. That was like a cross between Porky Pig and Max Headroom. Oh, my God.
You know what? I just got done work, and I was looking forward to just relaxing and doing this interview.
Excuse me, I don't mean to overspeak you, but like relaxing and doing anything with me don't seem to ever mix. Like, what's wrong with you? You into the juxtapositions, are you there?
I'm sure your mom finds your company relaxing.
Oh, yeah. Mom, do you find my company relaxing?
Well, that's hardly the right word.
All the filthy, dirty secrets are going to come out now.
Well, Liane, I was following you online this week, and I guess you had a wonderful trip to Chiller, huh?
I did. It was a very last-minute thing, and one of my dear friends, who also happens to be an agent named Matt Beckoff, was kind enough to offer a last-minute table. And so I said, sure, I need a break from this, because I think I'm in, like, week 12 of caretaking, and I'll say I'm doing 90% of it. I do have a little bit of help and some support, but it's hard. And I love you, Mama, but I really need to get out of here every once in a while.
I thought your mom was your caretaker.
Okay, now, listen, I don't need you two tag teaming. Come on, Mom, who takes care of who here?
It depends on how you're spelling who.
Oh, God.
I have a teddy bear.
Is that what you call Liane, a teddy bear?
No.
I put the teddy bear in charge of everything because I never had a teddy bear as a little girl.
Yeah, I call
I got her a teddy bear.
Liane, do you have a teddy bear?
Teddy bear. Yes, so now I have a teddy bear, but I'm going to give mine away, and I'm going to buy a big bunch, and I'm going to give them out to every kid who's never had a teddy bear that I come across. I will give a teddy bear.
Well, Paulette Gerard, we're going to have the Paulette Gerard Teddy Bear Foundation.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? If that's what you want, look, you know, I've got a million things going, but starting a 501c3 to give away teddy bears, I'm happy to do that. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I think we'd both be up for that.
Mm-hmm. Doing good in the world because there's too much chaos, too many extremes.
Well, Liane, what was the big highlight at Chiller? Just to, get a little background there.
Probably my two favorite things, I think, both took place. Well, no, there are three things. Two of the first things that I mentioned took place under the table.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time under the table, under my table, and under Rick Frane's table. I don't know if you guys know who Rick Frane is, but he's a fabulous artist. And he's got a wonderful little dog named Miss Marple, who he adopted 4 years ago. She's a Boston Terrier, and she had a little accident. She was apparently attacked by a larger dog who, with the first bite, grabbed the eyeball, and the second bite just yanked it out. And apparently, this frisky little soul just kept playing, didn't know, just like, oh, okay, whatever. Ow, 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 that hurts. Okay, where's the ball? Like, this dog has the most amazing spirit. So I spent a lot of time under the table with Miss Marple because I like dogs better than people.
Were you under Linda Blair's table?
No. Linda Blair and I hang out vertically together.
Okay.
Like a number 11. We don't do under the table.
She didn't puke split pea soup on you?
No. Linda doesn't do that to me. Linda and I have an understanding. Don't we, Linda? I love you, honey. She's the most lovely human being. And she's tiny. She's so tiny. She's so adorable. I just want to scoop her up and love her.
Yeah.
I do. I do. She does very good things in the world, and she's got a good vibe.
There you go. There you go. Well,
So the second favorite thing was under the table with a child who was very afraid to go see Freddie. And so by the time I got through with her, she was giving Freddie a hard time and touching his latex, and yeah, it was good. So I helped somebody. Oh, and then our mutual friend, Johnny Capps. Johnny was there. And so I was able to meet him finally and help him through a couple little things that got a little awkward. I won't go into detail, but it was really, really nice to be able to be there for somebody at that level. So, hey, Johnny, love you.
you say that Freddie, was that Robert Englund?
No,
Oh,
no,
just
no,
somebody
no,
dressed up.
No, it was it was a whole other thing. But it was a Freddie thing. There was a Freddie, and Jack Shoulder was there, and yeah, it was fun. I gave Jack kind of a hard time. But listen, you know what? We're talking about me, and I was going to start talking about the cucumber, but we can save that for some other time because I think my mom would probably prefer talking about herself because she's an only child, and she's a creative person, and we all like doing that. Right, Mom?
I believe so.
You do.
I can't imagine an artist not loving to be an artist.
Right.
And feeling gratitude for having been so gifted.
Well, Paulette, you grew up like in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. That long like before me, you know, and like I was born in 1972, so I just wondered what was it like growing up in that era?
My era.
Yeah.
I was very lucky. I think it's the last great era. Thank God for. And who made it so, or made it possible to some extent, was President FDR.
Okay.
And that was the first guy that I ever voted for. I could have voted for him a few years earlier, but unfortunately, even though I was going to be 21 on election day or something like that, in time to vote,
Okay.
I had the distinct pleasure, if it was, that death being what death is. But FDR was our guy. We loved him, and it was losing him that made us start grieving. Meanwhile, I started voting. That's when I started voting.
Yes. Do you have like a favorite decade growing up, like the one that stands out to you? Like for me, growing up in the 80s was great for me. I have so many memories of that, you know. Do you have a favorite time?
Not really. There are too many.
Okay.
I have too many favorite times.
Well, you must.
I tried to be accommodating, so I've gone through several elections with a candidate that I have liked and who, lucky me at the time, that worked out really well.
Yes. Well, you were born at a time when filmmaking was just even advancing, you know, and you've seen a lot of changes just in that alone.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And my mother will have seen a great stretch. My mother was born in France in 1897.
Mm-hmm.
So she will have seen a real stretch of, I don't know what you want to call it.
Well, you were born at a time before the talkies came out, you know, before the jazz singer.
That's right. And
Yeah.
people who were gorgeous and opened their mouths and sounded horrible, they all got ditched. Because if you don't sound right, then nobody's going to use you.
Yeah, Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin had a hard time adapting to sound
In a way,
pictures.
yeah, they did. They did.
And they were both brilliant.
Yes, well, so were lots of people throughout that era.
Mm-hmm.
So there we have it. And also those there was some very gorgeous music on the part of a couple of composers, which made the horizon a brighter place.
I was just going to ask you for the audience that hears this, what kind of music do you like to compose, and what brought you there? Like, what were your influences? What inspired you to advance in that direction?
I was an actress, and I got gigs, and I hated musicals because I'm not a dancer and I'm not a singer.
Mm-hmm.
But as it turned out, they did use my voice. I laugh at it. I don't consider myself to be a singer, but some people have used my recordings of certain tunes, which were tunes I had also written. More likely the music. Mostly I wrote the music, not the words. But I did write some lyrics along with it as time passed.
Mama?
Yes?
What influenced you to start writing music in the first place, sweetie?
Well, I used to listen to classical music, mostly from the period of what is it? The painters went through a period like that too.
Okay.
Making paintings like that, and I can't think of the word.
Are you talking about a Renaissance?
I'm talking about what?
A Renaissance?
No, I'm talking about, if you went and heard Walter Dalmarsh conduct a piece, very familiar to everybody. He was in with a lot of people who were creative, and
right.
some of
Okay.
them had written songs.
Well, what influenced you to start writing, though, sweetie?
I don't know. It just came to me out of somewhere, and when someone said to me, well, how do you write a song? I thought about it for a minute, and I said, I don't know. And I don't. I don't know. It's like it's in the ether, and I grab it as it passes because it makes itself known to me, and it's in my head, and I get all the notes down and get a few musicians to start playing the tune. And if it's good, and if there are lovely chord changes, then I'm glad that it's out there and that I have contributed to nice things on the planet.
You know, I don't know anything about writing music. You know, I understand writing lyrics. I know nothing about writing music. Talk about that process.
It's difficult because unless you yourself are an artist, you will only half understand what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But be very grateful that you can recognize a tune if you can. Be very grateful for whatever music there is in your life.
Yes.
It's the best thing you can have, and people don't stand there yelling at each other, thank God. So you're getting the best of having something of a music education. Although a really great guitar player who's a friend of mine, Justin Lees,
Mm-hmm.
Justin said, Paulette, you are a very gifted composer. You write stuff that nobody else could write. And when people play your tunes, because mostly you've been writing songs, I would say. And I said, yes, that's true. I say that. But the love of it all, the open-heartedness of it all, is, I think, why I was able to hear it pass by in the air, and why I consider that it just came to me out of the blue.
Well, it sounds to me like you're trying to express the following, is that you are an open, lucid channel for Source to come through you and express through you as music.
Yeah, one could put it that way if that coincided with one's beliefs. And I have no objection. I think it's wonderful as long as it spreads through the world.
Well, that's what we want to do. We want to spread good vibrations through the world, because good vibrations is what's going to...
I'll join you in that any day I can.
Thank you, Mama.
Okay, sweetie.
Paula, here's a question. Tell us about the first time you performed, like in front of an audience, and what that experience was like. Were you nervous, or were you just looking forward to it? Talk about that.
I used to run around, as a child, I used to run around imitating people. I imitated Maurice Chevalier.
Okay.
My mother being French born, I had the French accent down, so I would sing something that he sings, and I would have loved to have been able to record it had I been able to, but the opportunity never came.
Yeah, well, the technology we have today would have... Had you been born today, you would have been a monster, I'm sure.
A nice one, I hope.
No. In the sense that you would have been probably self-reliant. You would have been able to record all of your stuff. You would have been able to learn how to, like Jackie and I do, just go nuts with a program Logic or, something like that.
Yeah, I guess. A lot of things you don't think about much. It's just there.
Well, here's a question. What's your favorite piece of music that you've ever recorded? Do you have a favorite?
I don't know. A friend of mine wanted to find out if she could write lyrics. She is a poet. Well, she writes poetry, and lyricists write lyrics, and it's not the same. It's quite different, but I was quite sure she could come up with a very nice lyric to a song, and she did. So I decided I would set it to music for her. She was my good friend. We'd been good friends since we were 18, I guess. So I loved that, and of course I couldn't see anyone who was listening to the recording I made, but I could imagine what the response was. Sometimes there were applause because they were doing it in front of an audience. And that describes how I got into it all.
So performing never made you nervous. It was just something that you just walked into that was just...
I still don't really consider myself a singer. I really don't. But the fact of the matter is, I have recorded a few of my songs and a few that were not my songs. And I was happy to have been able to do it because they were good songs.
Does Liane sing to your music?
She's done a song or two of mine, and she's written a couple of songs herself. And her daughter is the most gifted, I think, of all of us. She writes a lot of her own stuff and sings it. And it's all very good. Very, very good. I'm very proud of my granddaughter's accomplishments.
Absolutely. I was looking at some information on you back here, and said you went through summer stock with likes of Zero Mostel and Maureen Stapleton. Now, do you remember much of them?
Yes. They were
Mama, I'm sorry, I'm overspeaking. You have to tell the story about when Grandma was visiting in Zero Mostel.
Well, the Zero was always playing tricks on people.
Okay.
He and the guy that was the lead actor for the summer locked my mother out of the bedroom, which she was sharing my bedroom, the one they had assigned me.
Okay.
And Jimmy Walsh, who was in the room next door, came running in like a crazy person with Zero right on his heels. And they locked the door so my mother couldn't get in from the hallway, which you had to cross in order to gain access to the bathroom. And I said, hey, come on, guys. And they said, no. And they went on and on and on. And suddenly my mother, who was out in the hall banging on the door to be allowed in, wanted to make sure her lovely daughter was still around.
Right, and Zero's in there going, Mother?
Oh, yeah,
Mother?
That's right. Zero was saying mother just about like a mother.
And Grandma's out there banging on the door going, Paulette, Mother. And so finally, tell him the finish. It's a great story.
The finish was it suddenly went silent. And there was nobody in the hall, I guess. And I said, well, should we unlock the door? They'll come bursting through. And we said, oh, no, they won't. The guys, don't run in the room when we unlock the door. Come on. We're looking all over for Grandma. She's disappeared. And we opened the door, and there, lying across the doorstep, there's a little step at the door at the bottom. Lying there was my mother. She had laid down, and she brought a pillow with her. and she was going to go to sleep in the hall. It was so silly. And
my grandma wasn't somebody to do stuff like that, really. She's not.
No, my mother.
You know,
my mother was an aristocratic French lady who was known for her manners and all that stuff. So,
oh yeah, my nickname was Fresh Kid growing up. Oh yeah,
for a
you're
number
a
of
fresh
years,
kid.
yes. That was when you were 9 and 10 and 11, roughly.
Oh, yeah. I've told this before on radio and in public. Like, you know, I think she used to say that there were no kids fresher than me. No, there are no. No, that's what it was. One day, Liane, you'll have a child. You'll have a child fresher than you. Like she was trying to threaten me with like revenge child.
It also says here you went on Broadway with Eddie Albert and Julie Andrews. Now they're.
Oh yes, well they brought over this wonderful remake of an old, not remake, but it was rewritten recently. Music from the 20s, and
the boyfriend.
Sandy and the boyfriend was the title, and Sandy was a very, very good writer and wrote himself a big hit show. Just like
Sandy Wilson is who she's talking about.
I'm talking about Sandy Wilson, the author of The Boyfriend. So I'm giving a push here to everybody, my brilliant granddaughter, my fellow writers, those with whom I have written one part of a song, if not both. And then that's a silly statement, totally absurd. But anyway, we'll overlook it. So I mean, that was it. That's what was going on, and I participated. I thought we'll spread the good stuff and the jazz, and that's what we tried to do.
And I also can't help noticing here the name Ingmar Bergman.
Yes, I used to dub foreign films into English, and they gave me his. I think it was. I never forgot the words. They were the opening lines, I think, in the actual film, and that was when the wonderful Swedish actor. Like the name, I'm not holding on to my thoughts.
Jan Troll?
No, Jan Troll was another genius. He wrote.
Okay, but we're talking about Ingmar Bergman?
Yeah. No, Ingmar.
Are you talking about Scenes from a Marriage?
No, it was an older film than that, and it was in Swedish. It was one of his early movies. And what happened was they opened up the movie by using a line from it, and it went, Ik spelen. I'm trying to remember the word. I'm playing Ik spelen schach, chess. I think that's how you say it. Ik spelen schach met dood.
Okay.
With death. I'm playing him.
Death with Death.
Yes.
There's an opening.
Yeah, yes, and nobody could ignore it. And it's a gorgeous movie. If you have never seen it, you should see it. There's a lot to learn.
Okay, now I'm going to go through the thing. Is it Autumn Sonata? Autumn Sonata?
Yeah.
Cries and Whispers?
Yes.
Is it Cries and Whispers? Is that the movie that you just
No, I can't remember the name. Something about spring.
Oh, the Virgin Spring?
I think it may have been the version of spring that that's the scene that opens it.
You didn't translate and dub that one, did you?
Yes, they were all. But when we got through, they were all speaking English. That was my contribution, doing the.
Yeah, Cries and Whispers came later. That.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Persona and movies like that.
They were right to celebrate the man because he is a genius at movies, making movies, no question.
Do you have a favorite Bergman film?
I think Cries and Whispers, because that's the first one I really worked on and got to know more intimately and more fully. But I like everything he has done. I've seen every film he's made.
How many of his films did you work on? Do you know?
A good half dozen. It could
Okay.
be as many as 10 and as few as
I have
7.
some of the scripts here, actually. I've got Scenes from a Marriage.
Yeah.
I've got the Swedish version. I've got the American translation. And I think I probably still have all of her handwritten and then typed out English version translation that was used in the studio. So that's 3 different versions of the film script.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've got that, and I actually have the 3/4-inch tape of Scenes from a Marriage. I was cleaning up, endless cleaning up, but I've got,
That
I've
is
got 'em right
cleaning
here.
up the cleanup.
You're right, I've got to clean up my cleanup. Scenes from a Marriage. Yep. That's right. I've got 2. It's 2 different ones. So I guess that's two copies of it.
My arm is starting to
Tremor?
shake a little. I'm getting a tremor.
Talk a little bit about your Parkinson's, Mama.
Yeah, I'll talk about my Parkinson's.
Yeah, my mom's
have
got that
tremors.
too. Yeah.
And I said to them, if you haven't discovered a cure, I think what you should pay more attention to is getting rid of some of the symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Oops. Sorry, that was horrible.
What are you doing?
I put him on speakerphone so that you don't have to hold the phone, sweetheart.
Oh, I'm on.
I'm trying to help you. I'm always trying to help you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, darling. Thank you. I didn't. What are you trying? Oh, that was it. No,
I'm a professional button pusher. I was trying to push buttons.
My arm hurts from holding that phone up like that so long.
Well, now
I'm
you don't have
sorry.
to do that anymore. No.
Thank
Did you just say I'm sorry?
Well, yeah.
It's all your fault, Greg.
Well, I feel sorry because, she's like, this is the interview I'm conducting, and I want my guests to be comfortable.
Well, you know what?
Hmm?
You're lovely, and it's our absolute privilege and honor to be on your show. So,
Yes,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, talk a little bit about the Parkinson's, because as I said, my mom has this too, and famously Michael J. Fox has it, so...
Yeah, there are a lot of people have it.
Yeah.
Maybe now that enough people have it for the pharmaceutical companies to make a killing,
Mm-hmm.
I've just been banned from the airways now. No, I'm teasing. But that could be. That could happen. I worry about things like that.
Yeah.
But the Parkinson's is really pitiful because they had years and years to experiment.
Yeah.
Years and years and years to experiment and test the whole thing out to make any changes. And it was interesting work.
Yeah.
Mr. Bergman came into the studio and said to me, I see you work the way I do. And I thought, sure. Sometimes someone said, are you going to do some direction? I said, I'm not a director, and I don't know how to, I'm not an editor. And not being an editor, I wouldn't want to make a movie. I would feel I had half my education on somebody's notepaper somewhere, but I certainly didn't have it within reach.
I think we flipped back into Ingmar Bergman. Mama, we were talking about the Parkinson's. So research, you were talking about research and the work that they're doing on Parkinson's.
Well, you don't know everything that's going on, but you get a whiff of this and a whiff of that.
I know, but what were we finding out about gut-brain connection, remember?
Yeah, so if you remember it clearly, my head is getting woozy because I'm tired.
That's okay. That's why I'm here to help you. You can share my brain because mine's not tired. Clearly it's overactive. That's what I do. I help be her eyes. I help be her ears best I can. And when she's missing beats here and there, I'll hop in if I can.
Actually, if you want to skip the Parkinson, we could talk about how you're trying to get Paulette's music out there, and
yeah,
because that's one thing that we definitely got to discuss is getting her music out there so that a broader audience can hear it and enjoy it and celebrate it.
Yeah, well, we're doing things toward that. And we have a lot of help from organizations that are charitable, and that's nice. That way there's money coming in to back what we're trying to do. That's good.
So we're like the three of you and Liane and your granddaughter, all going to be part of this?
I don't know. I have been very, very lucky. John Coltrane recorded one of my songs, and I didn't even know it.
So do you get good royalties off of these, or has that become an issue?
Well, for years, that's been rather questionable because there are many crooks in the business,
yes,
unfortunately, and you have no way to get rid of them. And a whole team of lawyers said, well, we really can't help you. I mean, we can't go in and get your copyrights back, but you can look out for the next date when it's renewable. I said, they never notified me about the first date.
Oh, wow. I hear stories about this from various people I interviewed that, are not getting residuals for projects and underhanded policies such as this.
My dad never got any residuals for Speed Racer or Marine Boy.
Mm-hmm.
What else did he not get residuals for?
You had to fight what was legal.
Well, and then what else? Dad, something went weird with flesh eaters, but that was probably because he was just not paying attention as best as he could have been. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, with regard to Mom's music and stuff, the things that have never been published, nobody controls other than my mom. And one of the other things that we were doing as I was cleaning up is having her glass metal masters.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are 78. They've got some tape-to-tape stuff, too, and trying to get it transferred and clean them up a little bit and plop them into either waveform or MP3 form. And I submitted 3 just to see what would happen, and all 3 got accepted by a small company called Crucial Music. They've also since accepted a couple of Jacqueline's songs. That reminds me I have to upload some WAV files. I just got an email reminding me that we haven't done that yet. But thanks for reminding me, Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the idea is to get things placed. So once I get control back of all of her other songs, I will be able to, I guess, how shall I put it, either executive produce masters with existing people. I mean, one of the people I would love to go and approach is Harry Connick Jr.
Oh, yes.
Connection with us through Jacqueline and American Idol. So I would think that would help get his attention a little bit, because he did notice that Jacqueline's artistry was just that. It was artistry. She's not a karaoke singer, so.
Well, I'm going to interrupt and say goodbye because I have little things that should have been attended to and haven't been. So if my daughter, if you will come with me and help me get rid of some of this work we've got to do.
Okay, we could do that. I just got one more question. I love seeing the posts, Liane, of you and your mom and videos of you and your mom. And it's obvious you two have a great relationship, and I get a kick out of the sarcasm.
Kill each other.
I get a kick out of watching you two banter back and forth. Paulette, what's it like having Liane there?
Oh my God.
Sometimes
I have nothing further to say.
Right, and just as you say that, my bird just went, hello. The dynamic around here is worthy of its own TV show. That's all I have to say. Nobody could make it up, and nobody could write a TV show without coming here and basing it on us. So, I guess the world's going to have to either wait, or some showrunner better hurry up and get over here, because you're going to lose out if you don't.
Wait a minute, and there's your version of Snow White.
Oh, God.
Highly original.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
There's 2 lines from there.
Okay.
Once upon a time, there was a princess. Her name was Snow White, and she was fucked up.
That's a taste of what this was like, but it's a lot of laughs, I must say.
Yeah.
She's in love with 3.5 men. That's a problem right there.
That would be, I'm sure.
And then she was bad-mouthing this fabulous woman named the Evil Queen, who's really not evil. She just talks to her mirror a little bit.
That's it.
No, that's not it. She's not got any gratitude.
Oh, I see.
Snow White is an ingrate. She's horrible.
Well, there you go. You said one day that Snow White was wonderful and the Queen was horrible.
No, this is a lie. You was all told the wrong story.
I see. Well, I hope too many things like that are not being played on you and you're getting your own stuff in.
I get my stuff in every time, and it does not require lubrication.
All right, I'm getting off the phone now. I say goodbye to all. Bless you all. Be lucky, be happy, and I wish you all the best. So be good.
If you run into the huntsman when you walk through the woods, tell him he's a good guy, and I got him. I'll meet him in the alley later.
All right, not stretch it any further. I think enough is enough, and we have now had enough. So.
Oh, would that be the royal we? Little Miss Entitled?
And I also urge my daughter to join me.
Oh, dear.
Any room, please, dear. And I need help with a few things.
Okay.
Well, Paulette, thank you so much for coming on here and talking about your music. I really appreciate it, and I wish you absolutely the best. And thank you, Liane, for coming on here as well and making my acquaintance for a third time. And I was happy to do this. And when this is ready, I'll get it out to you, but be patient on that. But, yeah.
All right. Well, how about a little taggy?
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Say, all right, ready? Mama, will you say the following?
Go ahead.
You've been listening to Python's... This is Paulette Gerard, and you've been listening to Python's Paradise. Can you say that, and then I'll say the rest of it?
Say it again.
This is Paulette Gerard.
Paulette Gerard.
You've been listening to Python's Paradise.
You've been listening to Python Paradise.
All right, can you try that all together?
No, I'm having a bad day.
Okay, well, I will finish up this interview.
Okay.
If you'd like to exit, Paulette, and I will wrap it up for us both. How's that, Mama?
Thank you very, very much.
Yes, ma'am.
On that note, I say and wish you all the very best of everything.
You're a good
Thank you
sport,
so
Mama.
much.
Thanks for joining.
Yes.
For inviting me.
Absolutely. So, are you closing this all off for us there, Liane?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if she's hung up. Sometimes
No,
we don't.
I'm going to be needing your help, though, very soon.
Okay.
Okay, I'll let you close
I'll
us
make
off
it-
then.
No, you know what?
What's that?
I'll close you off just fine right now by saying you have been listening to the fabulous Paulette Gerard and me.
Snow White.
I mean, Liane Curtis. On Python's Paradise out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada.
Come and visit
Come
us.
back now.
Absolutely. Take care, Liane. It's so wonderful to have this connection with you.
Well, yeah, I'm grateful. I mean, I don't know how much you'll be able to cut out of that. Bless her heart. Yeah.
I don't think I'll edit too much out. I loved it. The authenticity of it was really nice. Yeah, it was terrific, and yeah, I got a good kick out of your Snow White impression too. I never knew you could do that.
Oh, well, yeah, the whole thing is a fractured fairy tale. It kind of ends with the prince and the huntsman running away together, and his kissing Snow White is just what confirmed the fact that he's actually really gay, and there's no way he's ever going to touch anything that looks like a taco. Yeah, that's not for him.
Well,
Nope.
well.
He likes it up the pooper. Sorry. God only knows what he's done to that poor horse.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, Liane, we love you just the way you are, and I'll
Look forward to your fractured fairy tales. Oh, it's coming. I actually went as far as buying little felt finger puppets because my mom's been asking me to record Snow White. Please record Snow White, and I just feel like I need an extra pair of hands to hold the phone because I can't do finger puppets and hold the phone and do the voice and, like, what? Come on now. Come on now. Mama Leanne's fabulous, but, like, really? I need a little help. Just a little. Just a little. Soon. One of these days. One of these days. I tell ya.
Absolutely. Well, I'll let you get to your mom, you know. I don't want her to discipline you for being late.
Yeah, I got yelled at for dressing her improperly the other day. And then she tried to tell on me, like, in the waiting room with the doctor to some woman who, like, didn't care. And then, then she tried to tell the doctor, and the doctor looked at me, and I shrugged. I said I put her jacket on, and her sleeves, like, went up over her elbows, and she's uncomfortable, so I dressed her improperly.
I thought you put her clothes on backwards.
Well, you know, that would have been you know, I wonder, she would have noticed that less, because that wouldn't probably have made her physically uncomfortable, but, like, she's like the princess and the pea. Like, I love my mom, but, and like, don't take this the wrong way, and anybody who's known my mom, she's like the definition of entitled. She behaves as if she's a princess, like, or a queen, or just, I'll have my orange juice now. It's not, honey, could you bring me some orange juice, please? I'll have my orange juice now. This is how she addresses me. Like, what? And then, like, I think there was something in her bed. There's, like, a little roll in the bed. There's a lump in here. I can't sleep like this. And the roommate and I just looked at each other like, okay, princess and the pea time. But she's been like this her whole life, so it's amusing. It's amusing. And it's just, we just, you know, I'd like the black stuff. What if she likes the black stuff? What is she talking about? Next thing I know, I'm like downstairs buying lumpfish caviar because she wants, like, okay, you want caviar? You got it. Like, I squeeze her fresh orange juice in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes she has me strain it.
Okay.
You know, but this is just all the stuff that she used to do for herself in her life. So it's not like she's expecting us to do anything that she wasn't doing for herself. Her body doesn't work anymore, and she can't do it. You know, and so we just need extra arms and legs around here. So that's good. So I decided to just jump in. Like, what else am I going to do?
You don't mind if I use a picture off your Facebook of you and your mom together to put on the YouTube?
Oh my God, no! You should use the one where I'm licking her face.
Yeah, I know. I love that. like that's why I say your relationship together is so funny, you know, and I think it brings her a lot of amusement.
It does when it doesn't confound the crap out of her. I mean, it's not like she's a quiet person. She's an introvert. She's, like, ridiculously myopic, right? She's very intellectual. She's in her head. She's very conceptual. She's nervous. She's hyper everything. Just hypersensitive, like, including medications. Like, the doctors. When she got her cataracts done, she told the doctor, the anesthesiologist, like, don't give me, like, the full Monty, please, because I just know I'm very sensitive. And she got poo-pooed, because you know how some people like to say, I'm the expert, you just lay there and relax, lady. It's like, okay, that's nice. Please don't kill me. Well, she slept for 26 hours. We could barely wake her up, and, like, she had to sleep in the office, and they had to keep checking her, like, pulse to make sure she still had a pulse, you know. So those guys kind of felt silly, I'm sure, after that. So she's super hypersensitive, you know. And I hear stories about how when she was born, she wouldn't shut up. So when my grandma finally got, did you say silk sheets, satin sheets, something soft, and my mom finally got quiet.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So it's not like I'm saying, oh, she's entitled, oh, she's this, oh, she's narcissistic, out of because I just want to be a bitch, like, and my mom, like, yeah, we definitely have a mother-daughter dynamic, but, like, you know, she'll hit herself and hurt herself and go, oh, I'm like, oh, oops, whatever, my new normal, I don't care, let's keep going, and she's just like, oh, I can't, I'm like, oh my God, we couldn't be more opposite. It's like Felix and Oscar, it's just, what? You know, I like chewy steak. She likes it rare and very like butter.
There you go.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just here in a meat suit. I'm having fun.
There you go.
I try to keep it on the DL. It doesn't really work too well, but yeah. So for the most part, I think my energy is not necessarily for her. But at the same time, we love each other.
Absolutely.
Love each other. And I couldn't imagine doing anything else with her in this situation, other than maybe having had her move with me, but she didn't want to, so I'm here.
There you go. Well, on that note, Liane, I'm going to let you go tend to her, and I thank you for both coming on here. She's my oldest guest right now, and it was just great to have her story heard. You gave that idea to me, when you mentioned that, get her story out there, and I was like, that just kind of hit me on our last chat.
Well, I really appreciate the love and the assistance and helping me facilitate that, because who knows how much longer she's got. Like, I don't know. Like, she doesn't take pharma. She won't take the pharma for the Parkinson's. And she's, I just don't know. Like, I don't know. She could aspirate on food and get that nasty pneumonia that they don't cure. I hear that's how Parkinson's patients go a lot, is aspirating, pocketing food, and having a bacterial infection or whatever. It's just, so hopefully that doesn't happen. And maybe somebody does something, but gut-brain health. We talk about that a lot. And I think that a lot of science has turned toward that. So I try to follow all of that information. And even Tracy Pollan, she just had that book come out about Mostly Plants, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Cookbook. And I'm sure there's a reason they eat the way they do, because I'm sure they're looking under every grain of sand. Forget rock.
Yeah. Well, this will be an interview that'll be nice for you to look back on too. That's one of the great things about recording things.
That's true. I love the questions that you asked her. I wouldn't have thought to ask her those things. I need to be a better interviewer, so thank you for teaching me a little bit. I appreciate that. Hopefully I'll remember.
Well, I tried my best. I wanted to make it worth her time and worth your time and make it fun for the both of you.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry she wasn't more cogent. I don't know.
Well, it was nice to have Snow White join in.
Snow White, yeah. She loves Snow White. She loves Snow White. She loves Frasier. I think we're on round 6 of binge watching the whole 11 episodes from season 1, episode 1. She never gets tired of it.
Okay.
So, maybe one day David Hyde Pierce and Kelsey Grammer will come say hello. I'm sure she'd be thrilled.
You're not going to binge watch 16 Candles?
No, I'd rather go binge watch Weeds or Nurse Jackie. Because that's who I am.
Yep.
Breaking Bad. I want to cause a ruckus.
You need to watch the Trailer Park Boys.
You keep telling me about that. Or didn't you tell me about that once?
Yeah, I should send you a link to them. You want to see guys that are funny on weed.
Definitely send it.
Yeah, they've done 3 movies, so...
I'm amazed I haven't seen them.
Yep, they're Canada's pride and joy.
Well, I'd love to meet them. Maybe I'll have them on my show if I ever get my show shit together.
You'll like them. They did a movie spin-off from the Trailer Park Boys called SwearNet. And it had the most F-bombs in history, the World Guinness Book of Records of F-bombs. I think it was 939 F-bombs in the movie.
Greg, that's just I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Now I'm getting like my mom. I can't remember words. That's just like poking a tiger. That just makes me want to make a movie that has 1,000 F-bombs in it, just to fuck with them.
Yeah, well, that was a movie about censorship.
Like Facebook censored me and closed my account because I sent a nasty letter to somebody that was doing bad things?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a whole other subject that we could have a whole other show about that. No.
Well, I'll have you back on sometime, down the road there, and I'll get this out to you whenever it's ready. Just be patient on it, and
No worries. Take your time. Take your time. We'll be here, and you have fun with your next interview.
Yes, I am. I'm going to have fun.
With what the demons, what'd you say?
Oh, yeah, Elaine Dates from The Exorcist is set to come on here, so...
All right, well, make sure you pour a circle of salt around you before you start the interview. That way she can't fuck with you.
Okay, is that what your mom's going to do with you?
Yeah, because otherwise I might suck her soul. I mean, I used to just be men, but now I'm not as picky. I get old and less picky.
Well, with that said, I better let you go to her because you might get in trouble, and then I might get in trouble for getting you in trouble.
Well, see, and then it'll just be a mess. It'll be a beautiful disaster, though.
There you go.
All right. You take care, and much gratitude, much love, and thank you so much for having both my mama and me on like for the third time.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it wasn't strike 3. Hopefully that was my third home run. I don't know. Let's go for 4 and see what we can extract out of Jacqueline.
We can do that, absolutely.
All right. I will speak to you anon. I'll see you on the airwaves and in the Ethernets. Thank you very, very, very kindly.
No problem.
Always appreciate it.
All right. You take care and
right.
have a wonderful day.
Have a great night.